Hello, my friendly acquaintances. Welcome to Fire Your Boss, also known as FYB. We're rebranding ourselves as FYB, only after like 13 short sessions. And one of the reasons, we'll share that with you in just a minute. But anyways, I'd like to say hello to my co-hosts here, Frank and Jonesy. How you guys doing?
Yay. Hello.
Thrilled to be here. Yeah.
Excellent. Psyched up for another great episode, guys. Beautiful summer day here. 95 degrees outside, 71 inside. I'm very happy right now.
I can't wait for when this episode drops for it to be like 77 degrees, raining for 3 weeks straight. And everybody's saying, man, F that Frank guy from Conversion Chemistry and Fire Your Boss. Sitting there in his sunroom.
If they hadn't said it already, you mean?
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Well, it's better than F your boss. So
that is true.
That's the wiseacre smarty pants version of this podcast. So the rated R version. Anyways, we're talking today about add-ons. Adding something on to the sale of a product or a service. You get my weekly lawn mowing service, and guess what? I'll mulch your front garden beds for free. If you get a new roof from me, I will seal your driveway as well. We'll add that on just to kind of sweeten the deal. Or as Jay Abraham would say, would you like the left shoe too?
There you go. Good old Jay.
I always love that one. People try on one shoe and it's like, would you like the left one as well? We can throw that in.
Wow, what a
we
deal.
Can throw the left one in for free.
What a deal.
That's great.
So add-ons can really sweeten a deal. There is infomercials, really, late night infomercials. I don't even know, are there late night infomercials? I go to bed pretty early, so I don't watch TV late at night anymore, and I'm not even aware. But I remember the insomniac days of watching these late night infomercials, and they were always, but wait, there's more at the very end. If you order in the next 10 minutes, you will get a second set, of like whatever, of dentures for free or whatever in the world it was.
For your spare mouth, right.
Yeah, exactly. So add-ons are pretty interesting. For instance, when I used to order, because I don't order from Papa John's or Domino's now, on the way out, you'd click the cart and go to checkout. And son of a gun, would you like a second pizza for $5? Would you like that 2-liter Coke for $2? Would you like an order of garlic knots? How about 10 wings? How about, and then next thing you know, what you thought was like a $7.99 pizza that was going to be at your door in 30 minutes ends up being like a $40, $50 charge. Mm-hmm. And they got you. But you know what? I never felt bad about that. Like I think even Amazon does something, when you order something, or at the bottom of the page when you scroll down from a product, it'll say people who ordered this also ordered this or looked at this. And you would see a complimentary something or other, something, again, would you like the left shoe to go with that as well? So add-ons are pretty interesting. I just had a guy, one of my followers, he creates lithophanes, and I thought I'd show you this. It's basically, he creates night lights that are, what do you call it? Photosensitive. In other words, when it gets dark at night, they go on automatically. Okay. You really can't. Oh, wait. Okay. Now wow. Houdini. Look at that. Son of a gun.
Sweet green screen, bud.
It's our first show with real life magic, I see.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So let me, since it's light in this room, I'm going to put a flashlight behind this. And he took a picture of me with my Waffle House shirt on, and I'm pointing, I don't know if you can see that, if it's too low, but actually, I don't know. No, you can't see it, but it's me illuminated. No, you can't.
Oh yeah,
I
see it.
Can you see it? It's weird.
Yeah.
Anyways, and this is 3D printed. It's not milled. It's actually, the thickness is deposited on this blank, and to create depth and dimension. And when it's plugged in at nighttime, it's almost like you can like reach into it. It's like pretty trippy. Now, when he sent this to me, he sent me, I can't find it now. It was like a little 2x2 plastic square of the same picture with a hole in the corner for a key ring. So you order that, and he throws in a little key ring with the same picture. I thought that was pretty darn cool. Add-ons at the most basic, simple level. Jonesy, I'll ask you first. How have you used add-ons, and what is one of the best add-on strategies that you've ever seen in your years of marketing?
My God, well, love or hate Temu, or Temu, however it's pronounced.
Hate
Talk
'em.
about mastering the art of the add-on in marketing. My God, they gamify it. They you spin the wheel. 5 minutes later, you got this other, dollar hot offer, free shipping. And they capitalize on that dopamine hit 100%. That's probably, the products are crappy and whatnot, but I mean, as far as the execution is concerned, that is the absolute gold standard, in my opinion. Now,
Yeah.
not every entrepreneur is going to start the next Timo, and that is not to mentally limit everybody. I hope somebody goes and does it better. However, I've used it, for my clients, with my clients who have had the idea and implemented it a few times. So many ways to really go about it. Right now we're kind of talking about the sort of the upsell, the monetizable add-on. And maybe we could even talk about like a value add, later in the show, where there's no additional dollar transactions, but it's a differentiator. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. An upsell. Something even in, I have clients who do e-commerce, right? So I run a WooCommerce and WordPress website for them, which has baked in an upsell feature, very similar to Amazon. People also liked, or would you like to add this? Probably who's going to end up making our conversion chemistry t-shirts is a company called Ashtags. She's a in-home cottage industry, but she, like we preach, treats it like a business, right? So everything's systemized. She delivers a next level quality product. Everything from the packaging, the branding itself, the care and wash instructions that come with the apparel. Off the top of my head, one of the things she does is tumblers. So custom printed tumblers, printed or vinyl. Upsell being, a different type of top for the tumbler. So instead of having, just a little flip lid, you can get a little straw inside of it, a different top for it, different colored tops, all sorts of cool different things like that. So I mean, that's how it can be done on the ground level, as sort of the antithesis to Temu.
Yeah.
Car industry, we see it a lot. Extended warranties, that's a pretty high ticket add-on. We talk about back end revenue, or even some smaller upsells like the WeatherTech, the weather mats, which could be used as a value add or an upsell in both ways. If you're a good shrewd negotiator, you can convince the car dealer to throw in the floor mats to close the deal. Myself, I've used it.
Changes.
Yeah. And so the oil changes, that would be something I would consider to be a value add versus an add-on, if we're going to make that distinction. And myself, in the digital realm, I've used it by, let's say I'm selling a website and social media management package, upsell a little bit of SEO. And I can stand on my soapbox about SEO and how pissed off I am at SEO right now. However, there are some basics that need to be completed, and that's a high ticket, high margin, but also high impact upsell as a last add-on for a customer, for a digital service.
I like that. Frank, how have you used add-ons, and what are some great examples of add-ons in commerce?
Well, number one, I'm going to say Temu, much as I hate them, because that whole spin the wheel thing is genius. They're everywhere. There's no avoiding them. There's no escaping them. My wife orders from them.
Cracker Barrel does it too.
Oh my gosh, man. Yeah. Well, it's interesting too, because you go to Red Robin now and they have these little, almost like a tablet that you can play games on while you're waiting for your food. And it costs a couple of dollars or whatever, but it keeps the kids from strangling each other. So that is value added and an upsell at once, because you have a nicer meal and you're spending a few dollars to do it of your own choice. How I did it, when I did my live events in the UK, which I did 8 or 9 of them over the years, I would tell people, come to the event, and afterwards I'll stay on a day or two extra, whether it was London, Manchester, Birmingham, wherever. Come over and I'll give you a half an hour strategy session for free. Now that's a high perceived value, right? You just see a guy hosting a live weekend, you pay to get in. And he says, hey, I'm going to stay on, in London or wherever for a couple of days and meet with any attendee that wants to for free for a half an hour. Now, the reason that works so well for me is half the people would upgrade to my paid coaching program, which at the time, when the exchange rate was very much in favor of the pound, right now it's $1.25 to the pound. So if you go to the UK and you go to buy a Coke, and let's say it's £1, that's going to really cost you $1.25. When I was there, that same Coke would cost you $1.75, which meant, yes, my expenses for a hotel and stuff were 1.75 times, almost 2 times what they were here. But alas, watch this, I got paid essentially double. So my $4,000 6-month coaching program here, they would pay me £4,000, which when converted into dollars was 7,800. So not only was I helping people, not only was I giving them a half an hour free advice, they walked away winners no matter what, because you're never going to get the speaker's attention for a half an hour at an event. There's just, the numbers aren't there. Nobody can do it. They have an event to run. But I stayed at my own expense for a few days, lived out of the hotel for an extra few days. I made all that coaching money, which would in turn let me leave a deposit towards the next time I was going to do an event. And I would lower my overhead for the next event, or at least hold the line on inflation. So it worked out great for everybody. Matter of fact, the first one I did at the end, the first time I did one in Birmingham, I said at the end, I said, hey, did everybody have a good time here? Yeah. Okay, great. Would you guys like me to do it again? Okay, great. How about this? You guys each pay me whatever it was, £100, £200, whatever, now, and you will get admission to the next one. It was a reduced rate, in other words. I said maybe where it would have been 200. I said, give me £150 now. I'm going to go to the front desk and I'm going to pay for the next event. We're going to pick the best date. You guys tell me what's a good date for you. If you can't make that event, no problem. Your credit is good for any other of the events that I do. And I was over there every 3 to 4 months routinely for a handful of years. So they knew if I missed one, I was going to be right back there in a few weeks anyway. What that did was, again, high perceived value for them, right? They're saving money. It got them to commit. My expenses were already paid for before I got back there, and I already knew who was coming almost. So it works for me. And again, you can serve people and give them one hell of a good value, and with all these add-ons, and ideally it makes you more money. I mean, you're not just in the business of giving out stuff necessarily. You do everything with a reason, whether it's giving out pens with your URL or, at Ken MacArthur's last event, we had speakers that gave out, hats and shirts and books and what have you. Well, I mean, that helps them, but let's talk about that, Jonesy. Like the books, they're just outside arm's reach, or I would show them here. What the Be Your Own Banker guy was giving out T-shirts and stuff. So now you're walking around advertising his business, right? And that's not even an add-on. That's just using, the audience to turn them into fans, I guess you would say. But other people would give you a book or some extra consulting time. One of the things, you can always give out more time, or like you said, SEO. Those are high perceived value add-ons that people hold dear. They're like, oh my God, that's a good deal right there. I get X amount of extra time. Or you could do that, George, with your people who say, listen, guys, you're going to buy a 5-hour coaching session with me. We're going to do 5 1-hour sessions for $2,000. But you know what? At the end of it, I'm giving you a 6th one free to wrap everything up and put a nice bow around it. Right? Now, who wouldn't be blown away by that? It's like, my God, I'm spending 5 hours getting advice, from the Sultan himself, and now I'm able to have a 6th meeting with him to kind of tie everything up and agree on next steps. So these are things somebody can do with no, little or no effort or expense even. Yeah, it's your time, but you know, you just average it out across the other 5 hours. You're not losing a lot of money, and you have a loyal customer for life, ideally, and somebody that's going to go out there and preach for you too, which we've seen with your people, George. You have a high number of people that are very loyal and just, you know, they believe in you and they'll buy whatever you have and listen to whatever you put out and so forth. You know, there's a lot of possibilities here, even for the three of us, that we haven't explored for add-ons, etc.
That is true. That is true. I think, you know, it's interesting. Many times I'll see like a seminar that people pay for now that's offered for free 6 months from now as an add-on to someone's latest program that they're going to offer, let's say in November or December. The the workshop that they did this weekend is, and that they paid for, $500 to go to this workshop, that is now going to be an add-on for the program in December as an add-on, as and I used to say, I don't know how I feel about that. If I was someone who attended the $500 workshop and 6 months from now it's offered for free. But what are your thoughts about that? A lot of times the free, like, but wait, there's more. The things that are added on are sometimes things that people paid for in the past. What do you think about that?
That's interesting.
Well,
So that's I see that a lot with these virtual summits where you can attend for free, and then in order to replay it, you have to pay. And then
Yeah.
some of that footage or the courses may end up being a value add later on. I see it as, at the time, but this is my personal experience. At the time, I'm going to get as much as I can out of it. Apply whatever the thesis is of that particular learning course or seminar, and use it in some way. I'm basically I'm a master synthesizer. I kind of just grab stuff from all over the place, everything I do, everybody I talk to, and then implement it into my own life, workflow, and projects. So that's the way I would see it for pretty much anything. It's I don't want to get too political here, but like, if all student loans were forgiven today, all right, I paid mine off. Fine. Somebody else gets to see it for free. Awesome. Good for them. That takes a certain mindset. That takes an abundance mindset where, I that's just the way I look at it. I would not implement that. I would probably not um, give something away that somebody else paid for within my own audience, or at least target audience, because I wouldn't want to alienate that person who paid. Now, there are contingencies with that. Let's use conversion chemistry as an example. Our digital dominance blueprint, as it stands today, is completely up to date. It is cutting edge. It is, literally July of 2024 relevant and current. Won't be in 3 years. That's why, we have a recurring membership. That's why we update our materials. That's why we supplement the digital dominance blueprint with other, side quest courses, social media management, how to do SEO, how to do ads, that are constantly updated anyway. The whole product is going to be different in 2 to 3 years from now.
Yeah.
And we'll consider the digital dominance blueprint to be a legacy product. We'll probably keep it up and accessible, in the same way. Like, hey, let's look at the journey of where we started and where we're at now. Frank's old mass influence machine course, that's one of the freebies that we let people watch, just on the free resources on conversion chemistry. Yeah, I mean, it was a multiple $1,000 product 6 years ago, but so much has changed since then. We can't charge people that price for that now. That would be a disservice. That would be disrespectful. So, you talk in marketing, there's a lot of evergreen tenets and principles that are still covered in that course. So here you go, watch it for free. And we don't feel like we're alienating our audience or people by that, because, just like, things I learned about computers 30 years ago, that information is mostly free now anyway.
Yeah.
And I would have to go back to school to learn new stuff. So I mean, that's how I would navigate that. 6 months later, yeah, I probably wouldn't impose that on my audience.
see,
Yeah.
it's interesting you say that because I'm kind of neutral on it. I don't do that, but thinking back, I wouldn't have a problem of, say if I do an event in May and I do my next one in October, and I sell the recordings, because I always sold them cheap. I mean, it was, $100 or whatever, £100, will get you the recordings from the weekend. There's nothing 6 months later, if I say come to this event and I'll give you last month's recordings for free, or ideally buy the recordings from this session and you'll get all the recordings from the last one thrown in. I don't have a problem with that, because it's not this week or this month. If people haven't used it in 6 months, the way I look at it, guys, if people haven't used it in 6 months, they're never going to use it, right? And the people that used it 6 months ago, if they applied the information right, they got so much value out of it, I doubt they would begrudge me for offering it in, and haven't been in internet marketing so long. That stuff happens all the time, you know what I mean? Like, get this with that, get that with this and stuff. And just whatever you're paying for at the time. And maybe this is the approach I take, like you, Jonesy. As long as I got value out of it at the time. Like these college loans, hell, I'm still paying for my oldest daughter. I wish they would waive them. Okay. But I paid mine, from almost 30 years ago. So how would I feel about that? Well, did that degree make me money and give me value? Yeah, even in my case, I graduated with a logistics management degree. As I graduated, I went into business for myself. I never used the degree, paid 30, 40 grand for it. But so what? I got my money's worth out of it. It showed me what I didn't want in life was to be middle management at a railroad or an airline or a General Motors or Ford assembly plant, where I'm the first one to go in a chopping block at every economic downturn, I mean, or if they want to bump the stock price, you get rid of some people, that's good on paper. That would have been me. So I spent 30, 40 grand to find out what I didn't. I thought I knew what I wanted to do. Once I found this network marketing, internet marketing, coaching, branding, conferences, it's a whole new world. But I was like, yeah, baby, this is for me.
Hey, we can save
Yep.
everybody 40 G's by going to fireyourboss.win and using the niche navigator bot, so you can figure out what you do want and don't want without, having to go through all that horror of spending all that money.
And where do they go for that, Jonesy?
Fireyourboss.win, niche navigator.